Welcome. This is Alchemizing Energy, aka DJ Genesis, and today we have a special guest. Some people will say that he's a conspiracy theorist. He then ran to Africa from America because of the pressure of his so-called lies, whatever. But you know what? I said bump all that. It doesn't matter what anybody got to say. I want to talk this young man myself, and without further ado, I want to bring up our brother, big homie CC. Welcome to the panel. This is Alchemizing Energy, and this is DJ Genesis. Welcome, big homie CC. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold on, I was getting my light. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate
Right. I appreciate you because, I didn't even know about all the folklore about your personality before I said, come to my channel, right?
it.
I was
Right.
on I saw all the positive things that you were doing and I was like, you know what? And then he moved to Kenya and there was this whole thing going on in Africa. And then you had moved to Africa and I was really into the Pan African aspect of it all. And that's the reason why I contacted you. And then once I contacted you and I let people know, yeah, I'm gonna be interviewing you, I got to hear everything you could imagine about you that I had never even had no idea about. So let's get into who are you? Who is Big Homie CC? Let's just let you tell people who you are first.
All right. Of course. Of course. My name is Big Homie CC. I've been a private bodyguard over the last this is year 17 now. I made my name by working in the private sector with athletes, musicians, you know Playboy Playmates, models. I had a contract with Ford Modeling Company, stuff like that. And as I began to grow in the business, I was already a person that in my community people came to when situations became tumultuous, and especially the ladies, because the black woman is the least respected and least protected. You feel me? And women have the least amount of rights on the planet. So I was raised by strong ladies who put love in my heart. They kept me in church and school and stuff like that. I took my education seriously. So, I'm able to be a good orator when I explain myself and my points of views on things. Working in the private security field, I ended up being around the Zest Monster, the guy Diddy, a couple times. I had some interviews about that to go viral. You know, I've never said I worked for the guy, but oftentimes in this line of work, things get misconstrued. And uh, I've been able to make a pretty successful name for myself. I pivoted my business to combating trafficking and just protecting women because it was a lot more rewarding for myself. And, when you working with ladies, they don't want to be a man. They don't want to be me. You feel me? Oftentimes when you're dealing with dudes, especially black dudes, a lot of them you got to take violent acts against because, men only really respect danger. So, it's been interesting. It's taken me a lot of places. I've been able to go on Pierce Morgan a couple times. I've been on Michael Franzisa's channel. Shout out Mike. Me and Judge Mathis and Michael Franzis are working on an initiative to help quell the violence back in Chicago and in the Detroit and Cleveland areas, working with some real prevalent street figures on that. And yeah, I sent you a lot of videos, of my receipts that I always have shown on my own channel, Off the Grid Network. So, you know, people be saying like little stuff, but if the Bible is geographically correct, you know, black men killed Jesus. You feel me? This is why in our communities are in shambles, because these same guys who want to spread narratives and lies, they'll never face me in the street because they not on that level. And at the same time, you know, I never agreed with men selling poison in our neighborhoods and promoting prostitution to our women. So the guys who partake in this type of activity, they don't really like me too much. You feel me? So, you know, that's what Lee. That right there. That's me on tour with Bubba Dub, the comedian. You feel me? I'm on the stage, and these same guys said that I didn't work for celebrities, and you know, but you know, these receipts that I have, like, was it make believe? You know, is it a fairy tale? So, you know, thank you for having me on, though. I really appreciate it for sure. So it's 5:53 a.m. right now. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. So this video right here, this is a active stalker removal. This is part of our retrieval service. A lady named Autumn, I'm not gonna say her last name. Her name's Autumn. She lives in Chicago. She sent us information on a stalker problem she was having. We went out to investigate, proved it to be true with a threat assessment, and we went to go stand on that business. You know, I'm active in the community. Every year, I send 100 kids to school, whether it's high school or college. I go out, I find missing people. Last year, we brought home 17 missing ladies, 4 kids, 1 little boy. You feel me? So, you know, this is my real life. This is real business. I really stand on this. And if anybody want to put themselves to the test, you know, you're more than welcome to come out in the field with my team and I. And if you got heart, and if you really who you say you are, come outside to help. Straight up. But they not going to do that right there. They not going to go out in that paint.
I mean, I've heard like, you know, that, you know, you're lying about working for Diddy or working at Diddy's mansion. I've heard so many different stories about that. He's lying. He haven't done this. He's a conspiracy theorist. And I wanted to like at least give you a chance to explain, because I was like wondering, okay, I mean, when I first contacted you, it was more about like the fact that you had moved to Africa, and I was trying to get information on that.
Yeah.
The more I told people that I was interviewing you, the more it came out about, well, no, he lied about this, he lied about that. So this is a video. I think, is this the video right here? Let's hear what this said.
As we see, I'm on the phone with a very nice gentleman. Very nice.
Let me tell you this.
Can't no light-skinned nigga ever check me, boy.
Let me tell you this. When I send you
Look, these boys was him right here. So look, me and Loose Cannon finna fight for 100,000. I'm gonna beat your ass to death.
So what happened when y'all saw each other?
When I seen these niggas, no. 600. They had security. They had convention center security. Bro, no. White just said y'all had security with Adam, boy. Don't lie. Because that's no. He just said it. And the nigga Jock was y'all security.
Oh, look.
Yo, niggas was spooked.
So what's happening here with this video? I don't even know what's even going on, because I'm so out of the loop in this. Let's hear what's going on. What's going on in that video?
So the guys who told you that I was lying and I ran from Whack 100 and Loose Cannon, they ignored these videos when I was picking on their big homies and the guys that they worship. So that right there is me picking on Loose. There's another video I sent you where Loose Cannon had to agree to pay me $5,000 to even talk to him on camera again. So you can pull that.
Let me show that one, okay? Because I'm not even sure what I'm even looking at. I don't even know what's even going on. But before
Yeah,
I get into the real stuff, what I really want to talk about, I want to validate, like, okay, like the all the nonsense people are saying about he's just a conspiracy theorist. He's just a all right. So that was that one. What about is this the
that's,
one?
no, I'm sitting down. I'm in that same area that you just seen, but I'm sitting down. So you're gonna see those lights behind me.
Okay, let's see what you.
There we go. Wait,
Right here.
a little bit further down. Further down. Let me see
Did
this.
you send it to me? I don't think. Is this it right here?
Yeah, that's it right there. You need a thumbnail for the show?
Yeah.
Y'all get no thumbnail, guy? Y'all get no thumbnail, dude?
Nah.
All right, man. I'm finna plug you with somebody. I'll call you right back.
Nah, I got it.
Oh, what time is the show tomorrow? What? Y'all gotta pay.
Hey, what?
Y'all gotta pay me to come on y'all show. So go ahead and cash out me like 5,000. So look, send me 5,000 and I got it. So go ahead and cash out me 5,000 and I got it.
Let's go. All right, bye.
But now that right there, the man had to pay for the show. So the guys who
Yeah.
y'all get no thumbnail, guy? Y'all get no thumbnail, dude?
Nah.
All right, man. I'm finna plug you with somebody. I'll call you right back.
I tell her like stop it. Stop it.
Oh, what time?
All right, here we go.
Now that right there is the guy Loose Cannon agreeing to pay me $5,000 to even talk to him and Whack again on camera. I also sent you a video of me, Loose Cannon, and Whack together.
Okay, which one is that one? Is that this one right here?
That's like the very first one I sent you. So you got to be careful like who you talking to, because like a lot of these guys, like they inner zest monster inside their body just don't like me because I protect ladies, I stand on business, and I pick on down low dudes. So like I got like that whole community just all up in shambles right now. You feel me? They got them on the run. So you got to be careful, Queen. It's dangerous out here.
That's not the one. Hold on. That's not the one? Hold on. I'm trying to figure out which one is the one. Hold on.
You gonna see me, you gonna see Whack 100, and you gonna see Loose Cannon in the same video together, and you gonna see niggas looking very scared when they saw me. Phone them, bro, grave. Niggas know what's going on. Y'all gotta stop out here, stop all this lying. And if anybody wanna link up and put themselves to the test, I'm into this type of stuff. Like when it come to killing, damage, I'm into that. You feel me? So if y'all want to get into that, it's whatever with me. But I got a lot of big deals and stuff going on. I'm trying to be on a positive wavelength. But if y'all want to get on that, we can get on that. Stop lying to people, man. You boys is disgusting.
Revenge nerds. I never want to hear about Loose Cannon again. We crush your idols. Is that the one?
Yeah, we crushed their idols. So whoever was telling you that, they worshiped, but they didn't like the fact that I treated them like goofies. Because stupid and goofy together is called a smoothie. So you got to be careful talking to them smoothies. They might mislead you, Queen.
I'm not sure who this is.
Big Homie.
That's
Big Homie.
So that's you actually doing security for Iman Chupa.
Yeah, I lived with him and his wife, Tayana Taylor.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So the person who told you this false information, this video has been on the internet, but I'm starting to believe that some groups of human beings have a worship gene, and scientists are looking into this as well. I believe it to be true because, you know, how is it that our race of people was able to be put in chains and enslaved relatively easily? And I believe it has something to do with this worship gene and just because like this footage that I'm showing this is me with Rick Ross while he's recording Purple Lamborghini right here. That's me with him right there.
Yep. So that's that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why, you know, I don't care how large or how much traffic a channel has. I'm all about it. And this is part of it. Everywhere I go, I get a hero's welcome. You know, I take hundreds of pictures every day. And it's just like, I only hear about this when I'm doing something within my own community, which is, this is me on stage with the rapper Lil B, the big guy. That's me right there.
Right. So that's you and Little B. I mean, so let's see. OT Genesis.
I sent you a video. It's like with this like the first video I sent today. That's OT Genesis. When a shootout going on in the club, my homies was having a shootout. Free Boogie.
Right outside to the motherfucker police. What about the back door? Take them right outside to the motherfucker police. What about the back door?
Like, I'm the person people call when they need more than security. When they need somebody to fix a situation, they need somebody who really stand up. That's what they call me. They not calling Joe Blow working at the door of the club. They gonna call the top level for sure.
Right, for sure. Okay. So let's go into let's share. Let's see this one.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you went the boogeyman game.
This us picking on Whack 100.
Oh, shit, you weren't the boogeyman, boy. Hold on. When I talk, you shut the fuck up.
Show bitch ass up.
When I talk, you shut the fuck up. You ain't gonna touch me, nigga.
When you want?
Hold on. Hey, hold on, Luce. You an actor.
You an actor.
You a fucking actor, gang.
You know what happened when you saw us, nigga?
Oh, my mama, fuck you, niggas. Hey, right, hang the phone up because you see the devil. How many niggas hang up, nigga?
We in that mode
How
now.
many niggas hang up?
We in that mode now.
How many niggas you see hung up?
Phone them.
How many niggas get off the
We in
phone?
that mode now.
Boy,
That's what
make
we on.
your ass, boy.
That's what we on.
How many niggas? You ready to rap? You ready to rap? Your ass a bitch. Shondell Gregory, you a bitch. Why you hanging up?
Why you hanging up the phone?
You was a bitch.
Record this. Record this.
Yeah.
Record.
Well, that sounded like that got really heated. I don't know what's going on in that thing right there. So here's another one.
We play.
That was the one before. Oh, let's okay.
Out here with these niggas always harassing me. Always fucking this. Out here with these niggas always harassing me.
So what was going on there? What was going on with this?
So this is when I caught Whack 100 and Loose Cannon in person after they was out here talking about I was lying. I caught them in person, and you seen Whack on his phone. He was trying to teleport. He got some new technology from Elon Musk, so he was trying to teleport out that very dangerous situation because I caught him on camera and showed that he was a bitch. Just like whoever out here telling these lies, like, niggas don't want no problems with me. You feel me? The boogeyman does exist. And, you know, I just want to put this to rest. If you listening to niggas, tell them to hit my DM. I'm available to everybody. I respond to all. If you have a problem, you want receipts, just hit me up. But as you can see, this right here, this is what real gangsters do right here. This is me. Some of those kids in this video was missing. They were kidnapped by a group called Al-Shabaab. I negotiated their release. That's her hugging me because I brought her home to safety. We fed the orphanage and I sent 100 kids to school. And I'm speaking to the actual babies in this video. So, you know, this is what real men, real gangsters supposed to do. not sitting around lying and gossiping on the guys who really stand on business. So
Thank you. We buying out the whole store, man. The dude was feed the street. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know how we do. Nice work. Yes, sir.
So my name is Reed. Everybody can just talk to me. It's very exciting. I want to tell everybody that to the ladies first.
I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, people could say that you doing this, doing that, but over when you're doing work. So let's go into what made you actually leave America. Because people say, well, you left because you were running from people or whatever. What is the real reason why you left America to move to Africa?
well, you know, one thing I learned about this lifestyle, this career.
Oh, he must have got a phone call. Somebody must be calling. So you guys, thank you for like being here during this. You know, we went through the past. Now we're going into the future of Big Homie CC. All right, so let's get in. Yep, I can see you. Let's go into it.
Yeah, so along this path, I knew that I had to keep my story a secret until it was time. And I also knew that I had to have an exit plan due to certain exigent circumstances um, and current threats to my safety. And it has nothing to do with content creators. You know, that's dork behavior. You know, I'm somebody, you know, this, see my teeth? This is fake.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that happened in a shootout. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I can also send you footage of that. You know, I got myself bloody, all of that. And it's because, you know, I really live as I say. And what people didn't know is that I always lived in Kenya. I always had a residence in Kenya. And, you know, when it was time for me to make my journey this way, you know, my grandmother was a Maasai woman. You know, Kenya has 47 different tribes, I believe. And the Maasai tribe is one that never got colonized by the British. So my grandmother had Maasai blood. She was a Maasai woman. I have that blood in my veins. Once I got my DNA test, it confirmed what my grandmother always said. And before she passed, she made me promise that I would return to my homeland. And that's what I did, you know. I'm currently, if you look up on Newsweek, if you type in bighomie.cc Newsweek, I'm in a lawsuit with the guy Diddy for protecting Ashley Parham, the little white lady, protecting her. I don't know why she said my name when I saved her life, but I'm in that paperwork for pointing the gun at the guy Diddy, stuff like that. So I left because I already planned to return home, and then I was not trying to be. I already paid Ed Zappia, you know, 15 grand for that case. You know, I'm not trying to be spending 100,000 on that. I got people to help. I got kids to send to school. I got family, so I made my exit to prevent from having to deal with that nonsense. You know, there's no man on earth that's about to make me have any type of fear because, you know, it only costs. the price of life is cheap. You know, I'm gonna leave that at that. But yeah, that's it right. Yeah, that's it right there. So you know, for people who said I was lying about my whereabouts, why am I on Pierce Morgan? Why am I on Court TV? Why am I in actual lawsuits pointing guns at people? You feel me? Nobody who ever came out challenging me has my background, have my track record, especially on no gangster shit. Like we in different leagues with that for sure. But you know, I'm a man of peace now, you know, because without ladies, there's no life. You feel me? And I feel like I took an oath, and I'm a man of principle. I stand on that.
As you can see right here, for anyone, it says right here. Let me go into it. It says several defendants named in the lawsuit are also part of Combs' inner circle, including his former bodyguard, Big Homie CC, real name, who is accused of receiving significant revenue from Combs' criminal enterprise. Right there, boom. So I don't know, like, so if he's lying or he's a conspiracy theorist, I don't know how he would end up in a lawsuit. So I just wanted to, like, before we get into all the other stuff I wanted to get into about Africa, about the things that what you're doing and why you even ended up in Africa. I wanted to at least like show that, okay, he's not lying about who he says he is. And that's the main point I wanted to like drive home.
Well done, well done. I gotta give you props. You nice with this.
So the main thing is that, okay, so what made you start your company, and what was it mainly that you were doing? You were helping individuals to recover their loved ones from human trafficking. Is that what your main story was, or things you were doing?
Yeah, that's really what thrust me to the spotlight, Paul, because you know you don't really see men of my complexion and my stuff partaking in stuff like this. You usually see us doing other things, you know, and being somebody that is, you know, I was born into a gang. You know, my family's insane gangster disciples. So I had to convince the insanes, like, look, bro, instead of destroying our own community where our kids have to walk and live, we need to start building this shit up. And, you know, I told them, if you're going to stand with me, this is what we own. And I was blessed to have honorable brothers, honorable members, and they aligned with me. And we've been stomping full force ever since. And I feel like some very, very prominent statistics need to be mentioned, because 41% of African American ladies experience interrelationship violence. That is an insanely high number. That was in 2019. That number now is at 51%. So me being who I am, you know, ladies call me like, Big Homie, look what he did to my eye. I'm like, damn, what's going on with that? You feel me? So, you know, you look at Loose Cannon, he went to jail for putting his hands on the female. You look at Wack, he just disrespecting females all the time. These type of guys who have this misogynistic mentality, they don't like me. And then at the same time, you know, there's no 5'7", 5'6" man on the planet who can beat me in a fight. And both of them is little dudes, you feel me? So it's just kind of like,
How tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
What?
Yeah, I'm 6'6".
Maasai. Because I'm like, what? Most African tribe, you say you're part Kenyan. Most Africans are not that tall. So yeah, Maasai. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you know, when people look to you as a protector, I had to make it make sense. You know, it slowly became a business, because in our communities, especially in the inner cities, You know, it's usually the lady in the house who got a job, she have a car, she have a bank account. The guys don't really be having nothing like that. So once they realize, like, wait a second, big homie and his homies, if we go pay them, I'm gonna stop getting. I'm gonna, you know, can't nobody come in my house and show me what the Rock is cooking. You feel me? And that turned to a business. It snowballed, and it's had an effect on the world. Now every day I'm seeing groups of black men standing on business protecting the ladies, and that's what I did this for, because I knew it would add a lot of danger to my life. You know, because you know there's people walking around with missing fingers right now. You feel me, for playing games with me, and you know it's a guy trying to shop a video around. He missing these fingers right here, and he's trying to say I'm the reason. But you know, you might see him on TMZ coming up soon. So you know we could do another interview about that. But he's a child molester, and he's on the sex offender registry list, and he didn't call the police.
Who, the guy from TMZ or somebody else?
The guy who has his fingers missing right here, he's going on TMZ with this story. So,
so here's the thing. So, all right. So, have you encountered more trafficking in Africa versus in America, or is it equal?
no, I've experienced. Whew, I've experienced more trafficking in America. Well, here's the thing.
Are you serious? Like, there's more trafficking in America than Africa?
Absolutely.
What?
You know, traffic.
Let's get into that, like sex trafficking or human trafficking, like even for organs and things like this. Have you dealt with that like level of like organ trafficking or sex trafficking? Which level of trafficking have you dealt with?
I've dealt with both. Unfortunately, both of these illicit trades work hand in hand. Because when I was down in Texas operating near the Mexico border, there are certain sex workers I'll be in contact with who are building that branch, building that road, that pathway to escaping that lifestyle. Honestly, when most of them have like pimps or they're being trafficked by an organization, there's a very alarming process that takes place. When the sex workers start to get detoxed, and I get that call, oh, they're detoxing me, I don't know what's going on. They're getting ready to murder them and then traffic their organs. This is something.
That's the pimp does this. Is the pimp does this, or like is that so the pimp is detoxing them and then they begin to work towards the trafficking of the person?
Yeah, so this is the pimps and the traffic organizations doing this. There was an indictment that happened on a street gang in California, the Hoover Street gang, where in the paperwork, some of the members were on wiretap calls calling another one and saying, "Hey, we finna sell this whore, we finna sell her organs at the border." So this is what's going on, and these are black men inflicting modern slavery on women in their own community, which to me is severely egregious, it's asinine, and I feel like the consequences for this should definitely be as austere as possible. So, yeah, I've dealt with that on several occasions. You know, I still lose sleep at night because, you know, there were certain people I just couldn't get to. And once you lose voice calls with them, once you lose contact with them, you pretty much know what happened at that point. Because once a female sex worker is viewed as old or tired or the value depletes or diminishes, they detox them, get them off of drugs and alcohol, then they murder them and harvest their organs and they sell their organs on the black market.
What would you say is the most dangerous place to be in America when it comes to like, you know, trafficking? What city?
I would say California. I would say Portland, Oregon. I would say Los Angeles, I would say Houston, Dallas, and I would say Washington. Washington State. Those are dangerous places to be
Houston
because
and Dallas. Dallas, as far it's like at least like 4 hours away from the border. So you mean that Dallas as a place is very dangerous for
yes, because black women are bought and sold in Mexico for around $50,000, $60,000. So,
$60,000 because it cut out $50,000, $60,000 or
about $50,000, $60,000. Yeah, that's
for the
going on.
organ or for the sex work.
Yeah, pretty much to be bought as a slave, basically. Yes.
So which one is more profitable? Is it more organs or sex work?
Well, here's the thing. You can only sell an organ once. You can sell a sex worker's sex work over and over and over.
Wow.
So that's the thing, because you can have one sex worker who sees 50 buyers in one day. That kidney that you're selling for 40, 50 grand, you can only sell it one time.
Well, I wanted to at least show this because this is the person that you said that you actually was in the process of. They were kidnapped and they were helping the family to actually do this. So let's go into this video right here.
Life.
Yeah,
Hey, y'all can
all right, no, that's good.
take your shoes off
And then,
and your socks.
and then power that phone on.
Give me your shoes.
This is standard. We do this with everybody. You want to get the job done?
Step over.
So what's exactly happening in this video right here? Can you tell us what's going on?
So right now, that's me with my brother Dugar, who's currently incarcerated right now. He went on a retrieval by himself, ended up in a shootout. We just paid his lawyer fees and stuff, so we get him out. The white gentleman you see there, his name's Dusty. He had a daughter who was missing for 2 years. She was convinced to leave the house while he was at work by some TikTok. He ended up getting from America to Yumbo, Colombia, and he paid a very substantial amount of money. We were able to travel and retrieve and bring him. And this is all documented. You feel me? This is my real life. These are situations where I have to put my safety at risk. It's a harrowing experience simply because if you make one mistake, you usually die in this business. And when you're traveling to third world countries, the embassy is not going to help you. You have to be able to have a pretty extensive network with people who specialize in everything dangerous, like myself and my team. So, for people who would try to say something is fake, I'm real apprehensive about putting victims on camera because, I don't want a bunch of black dudes harassing a victim of rape, and that makes me look weird because to me, that's clout chasing and victimizing somebody at the same time. So, I try to stay away from that, but there is footage. And I'm traveling to South Africa in about 6 days. Netflix, their headquarters at Netflix, for Netflix Africa, they want to do a TV series about this. And I've signed the paperwork. You feel me? I've already filmed one movie, so it's going down. It's going down. It's a dangerous game because it's $100 billion a year business. The United States of America is the largest purchaser of trafficking victims. You feel me? As I travel to the continent, though, I see a lot more women traffickers. And there are certain places on the continent where slavery is actually legal, which is outlandish. In Mauritania, there's a slave auction every Thursday. And I also have videos of that. You know, I've been there, I've seen it, confirmed it. But trying to combat it there, you have to join these anti-slavery coalitions. And, you know, people will show up to the military night AKs to murder you for trying to stop this business. So, you know, this is what I'm up against. You know, I'm also up against my own race, which is ridiculous to me, but, you know, that's what I was built for.
So have you continued your whole like business with human trafficking in Africa, or has it changed a little bit?
Oh, no. See, over here, I'll be careful how I say this. Over here, there are a lot less laws that I have to abide by. For example, they have something here called mob justice. So let's say somebody was to make a video about you saying that you're a liar and things like that. People can come to your house, drag you out your house, beat you, and set you on fire in the street, and there will be no legal repercussions to this. So, oftentimes, if I am able to track down a PDF file, the locals take action into their own hands. And, you know, I got video of this as well. I got videos of the locals pretty much stacking tires around the guy and setting him on fire because he was caught with a 10-year-old girl. And the police said there's nothing we can do to stop them, and they left. So,
Wow.
So, you know, that's why I like to be over here because, you know, back home in America, you can pretty much do anything, say anything, and, you know, there's no repercussions for it. Here, not so much. Not so much. You say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, there will be immediate consequences. And I've seen it myself.
So the actual title of this video is 20 Reasons to Move to Africa. Give me from 20 to 1, what are the main reasons why African Americans need to, because, you know, with the current situation, how it is, what would you think would be the reasons we should like probably not so-called invest so much more into America and move to Africa?
Here's the beautiful thing about it. So I have a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom condo, and it costs me $200 a month. To get the same thing in America, I'll be spending probably about $3,500 a month. If you are a stable, working American, you will be able to invest into Africa without suffering in America. And that's just the bottom line, because if you want to open up a bar, a liquor license minimum is going to cost you $110,000. And then you got to have $1 million liquid capital in the bank in order to qualify. Then you have a $10,000 application fee in some states. Here, you pay $500 and you get your liquor license. You rent out the facility, you put furniture in it, and you're open for business. Free enterprise is a lot easier to accomplish here. You know, you can build a Fortune 500 company in 5 to 6 years being on the continent where, you know, you probably won't ever get it done unless you go the venture capitalist route and sell all of this equity to get into these markets because everything is gate kept so much. The one big reason is ownership is why you should come to Africa, because for $70,000, you can own a 5-bedroom home built from the ground. $5,000 gets you a quarter acre of land where you build your own house. So they getting ready to offer 50-year mortgages in the United States of America now, because America is all about your borrowing power. The entire financial system is based on revolving debt accounts. That's what the system is built upon: revolving debt accounts, your borrowing power, how much you can borrow. Here, you can spend $70,000, you put down 30%, and then you have 24 months to pay off the rest of the balance. Think about that.
So what are they when they're saying that you can't actually own, you have to like have a 99-year mortgage or 99-year situation? Is that like a thing like looked down upon, or is that good or bad? What do you think?
So what they're talking about is they're talking about a 99-year lease on something. But the way you bypass that, you set up a corporation, you set up a trust, and then you purchase the land or property through the trust, and now you get a freehold title. That is a myth. And then
That's a myth. The whole 99-year lease is a myth.
yeah, that's a myth because okay, if you get a $300,000 15-year, 30-year mortgage, even after you pay that off, you still have to pay property taxes. If you don't pay the property taxes, they come take the property. So what's the difference between that and a 99-year lease? You feel me? So you can become a citizen after living here for 7 years. After you live here for 7 years, you're a citizen, you get a freehold title anyway. That whole thing is a myth because they don't want the Chinese and other people coming in, buying up all of the land and keeping it away from people of African descent, the diaspora, and the locals. That's a myth.
So what other reasons would you say that, okay, so you gave it 2 out of 20. So what's another reason why we should consider moving to Africa?
For the historical impact that it can have on your life, being a person of dark brown or brown skin, being a melanated person. Oftentimes in America, I noticed that we have hip hop Americans. We have our culture is based on just our history is Black History Month, Abraham Lincoln. Pardon me. Black History Month is Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman. We got a few inventors, George Washington Carver, and then it's slavery, and then Martin Luther King, and that's it. That's it. You feel me? What people have to realize is, what I realized in my collegiate activities, I had a course called The History of Africa. And I studied the Bantu a lot. And what I realized was, just here in Kenya alone, there are 47 different tribes. Each one has its own cultural values, its own history, its own unique foods they eat, its own leaders, its own family structures, and beyond. And they'll tell us that, soul food is really just slave food. You travel abroad, you realize, wait a second, at the Asian market, they're selling all of this same food. Over here at the Kenyan markets, it's a lot of different foods because they are taught to, you grow the food, you pay respect to the animal, and you use everything from the animal. People here are a lot more courteous. People have cultural, like the Luo people won't do anything with their left hand because they believe that to be a sign of bad luck. The children play outside, racing cars. You get to see a different aspect of society based on more pure cultural value. And I feel like a lot of us have been robbed of that from the American experience, for sure.
What about like the culture altogether? Do you think that there is, there's this whole thing about FBA versus the Africans? Have you seen any backlash from FBA and that Africans that are there are looking down upon the Black Americans?
Not at all. So they look at us as their heroes who gave up. That's what they look at us at. So all of this looking down on people, that's also a myth, because every day in America I have to have a gun for Black people, not white people, not Indians, not Chinese. I have to have a gun for Black people. I haven't needed a gun one day here.
Wow.
And to me, that speaks volumes.
So you would say it was safer there?
Much safer, yes, definitely safer. Like
So what
in my
about
neighborhood,
the police force? Like, if you get pulled over by the police, is there any like brutality when it comes down to policing?
you're not getting pulled over by the police. Like I haven't seen anybody get pulled over by the police. Like if you violate a traffic rule, the cop will wave to you to pull over, and they issue you your ticket. You pay your fine right then and there. Like, it's, and then if the police is beating somebody, the people are going to get out the car and stop them. Like, it's a lot different. It's a lot different. Like, the community vibe is a lot stronger here. Like, if they pass a law that the people don't approve, the people storm the parliament building and makes them disband the law. You can't do that in America. You're getting shot.
What about like education wise? If you have kids, do you think that is there a better educational system here versus in Africa?
Now, this is a very, very impertinent question, simply because I remember reading history books with blonde hair, blue-eyed white people on Egyptians. Seen that. At the school here, they teaching these kids about demons, evil spirits, the continent of Tartaria, which people is trying to say.
Hey, they're teaching like about Tartaria in Africa?
In the school, in the book.
What?
That's what I'm trying to say. They have pulled the biggest scheme on us that I've ever seen, and it is impossible for human beings to have done it by themselves. They are teaching about Tartaria in the school.
What are they saying about Tartaria? What are they saying? So there's a mud flood. They believe in Africa that there was a mud flood.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And when you see how these people are, you can tell that these people are the remnants of a past ancient civilization, because they really don't believe in time. And then you see scientists come out and say, time doesn't really exist because it folds into itself. But that's how African time is. The sense of urgency, these people, they taught to live off the land. Like, they not aggressive. They don't have that urgency as if the sky is falling, because they come from a different ideology. They know their history. That is something that is highly, highly, highly objectionable, because when I seen they teaching kids about Tartaria in school, that sent me down a path, because, in America, if you tell somebody that you seen a shadow being in the corner of your eye, man, you crazy, you tripping. Here, where I'm at right now, they have warnings about night runners, which are actual shadow beings that feed off dark and negative energy that are real.
They learn spirituality from an early age.
Yes. Yes. I was just at the pool yesterday. I hear a 12-year-old, 11-year-old boy say, someone is trying to invoke an evil spirit. And I'm like, damn, little man. He not on TikTok all day. They outside. They're outside interacting. They're not using iPads. They're speaking to their friends. They're playing games in the street. I haven't seen kids playing hopscotch since I was damn near a child.
So what do you think about, like, you know, Trump is like trying to go into a place like Nigeria?
Nigeria is a shithole. He needs to. Here's the thing.
Wow.
92 million people do not have access to electricity in Nigeria. Hold on one second.
92 million people?
92 million do not have access to electricity.
That's a large amount. Wow. So, but is that like a good thing or a bad thing? Like, so maybe they that's not even maybe electricity isn't good. I don't know. What do you think?
The problem is that I'm finna get crazy now. Here's the thing. They market Lagos, Nigeria. They market Accra in Ghana. They market these places because those are the nice areas that have been colonized, those areas where their leadership lives. And the problem is, just like we see in America, whenever black people are put in positions of power, here come all of these embezzling, money laundering situations. It's the same thing here. That's why I feel like it's important for the diaspora to return home, because we must police ourselves. This is the most beautiful place I've ever been, I've ever seen. The ice melts faster. If you leave food out on the counter overnight, the next day it's going to be sour. I have lost weight. My skin is cleared up. Blood pressure is gone. Cholesterol is gone. I'm eating more food. I've lost weight. My health has made a complete 360. And I haven't been doing anything special. I haven't been doing anything special. And think about this. If you need painkillers, you go down to the pharmacy and they will give you Tramadol. You don't have to see 3 different doctors to get a prescription. You see what I'm saying? Everything, the American dollar, 100 American dollars is 13,000 Kenyan shillings. So why would I stay in a country where I'm having 6-figure years and I'm still struggling at times? I come here, I'm a billionaire. Think about that. $1,000 is $100,000 here. So in order to really benefit from that American passport and being an American, you outsource and you invest outside the country, just like all the billionaires do. Every billionaire client that I had, I ended up being the security for his wife or his daughter, and their debit card will say Santander or some Swiss offshore bank. Donald Trump don't pay taxes because all of his businesses are in trust in offshore accounts. We're stuck in the matrix of just thinking small, and it leads to cataclysms. It leads to crisis. It leads to generational poverty. It leads to generational. You know, my mom called me the curse breaker for a reason, and I feel like it's interviews like this that matter because, you know, people try to keep us in this box. I did that gangster shit at the highest level. You think I'm finna be on here playing with some dudes from California? You really feel like me at 6'6", 400 pounds, somebody finna chase me anywhere? Come on, man. Stop. Soon as we start talking about stuff like this, let's see somebody refute anything I'm saying about these facts that I'm listening. Think about it right now. You are a software developer, and I'm sure at times, financially, it's a struggle.
It's a struggle right now. I can't find a job at all. Nothing.
Now think about this. Now, America, they're about to implement AI. AI is about to crush the middle class, completely wipe it out. And they're not telling anybody to reskill. So what is that going to do? The wealth gap is about to exponentially grow. And then now we're seeing all of these companies converting to digital currencies like crypto when they told us as people, don't buy it, it's a pyramid scheme. But we're seeing countries use crypto and the blockchain system as a financial system. Here in Kenya, nobody carries cash. They have an app called M-Pesa. Everything is digital. If you want a chance to become a millionaire and a billionaire, you need to get on the continent because we are really, really behind the 8 ball in our community. Because here's a simple fact. School is free. It is not free here. Think about that. A country a lot poorer than us, you have to pay to go to school. In America, people are going to school for free, and most inner cities, none of the schools are on the reading level they're supposed to be. In Baltimore,
Listen, let me tell you this. My grandfather used to sit on the porch and he used to rock back and forth in his chair, and he used to say this: free school, dumb niggas.
yes. And there's nothing we can do about that because we are in the era of the babies, of the crack babies. The crack era, these are the children of the people who were in the crack era. And now, think about it. People have to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. So you're only going to see your children 4 or 5 hours throughout the day before it's time for them to go to sleep. You can't even properly parent due to the imminent need to have money to pay bills. And then we have all of these single parent households, whether it's male, whether it's female, and then that causes problems because the parent can only be there for so much amount of time. Every person here that has a stable income, they have a nanny, a house boy, or a house girl who somebody is there to watch the kids, help with this, help with this. That's not a common thing in America where a single mother has a nanny. Here they have them. And that
Right.
is
No daycare. Daycare is just a group setting you throw your child into and just hope it works out. But if you have a nanny, it's going to be inside your house. You get to like control that environment, all that stuff like that. Yeah.
You got cameras up with audio. You can always look in and make sure that your children are safe and everything is operating fine. If they go into a daycare or to a school 6-7 hours a day, you don't know what's going on. You got to take the word of a child against an adult. Things can get tricky that way.
You know, I was even talking about earlier, my daughter, you know, she came to me and was like, you know, she's 7 years old. And she was like, you know, this whole thing with Trump. I'm like, what?
Look, let me speak on this. Trump involving the military and ICE on the city streets to remove illegal immigrants has nothing to do with people that are doing things legally. In any war, there will always be casualties. The problem is, throughout the Biden administration, 4 million people came across the border illegally. Then, see me, I'm on Telegram, I'm on Truth Social, I'm in the WhatsApp groups for Al-Qaeda, I'm in the WhatsApp groups for ISIS, I'm in the Islamic State Caliphate groups under dummy pages. They are proclaiming they have 30,000 ISIS, Al-Qaeda trained soldiers in American cities that traveled through the border by the cartels, ushered them into our cities, in these migrant caravans. All of the chemical explosions that you see are happening, these are terrorist attacks. When you On New Year's, what did we see? We seen an ISIS terrorist attack. In order to really solidify the security of the country, you have to remove these terror cells off the street. This is what's going on. They have found C4 explosives, police uniforms, firefighter uniforms in these locations where these illegal migrants are being harbored as well. Now, think about this fact. The way they got into the country, the cartels control the border. You have to pay them to get in and out. If you want to stop this, you label the cartels as a terrorist organization. If not, our government cannot attack them. This is not about attacking the guy that's working outside the Home Depot. It's about preventing mass shootings. It's about preventing another 9/11. So when people call me a conspiracy theorist, how can you call someone a conspiracy theorist when he's providing irrefutable facts that you can fact check? I just wanted to say that.
Man, I mean, hello. And my main thing whenever I was seeing all this going on, the only thing that my biggest qualm about how ICE was being implemented was the fact that they could possibly be creating a police force that could also turn this whole thing around and begin to also attack Black people.
Now, this is why First Amendment rights in the Constitution matters, because you have countries like the UK where their country is being overran by illegal migrants. They have removed everybody's guns, so they can't fight back against the government. Australia, the same way. They can't fight back against the government because nobody has guns. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, said if all else fails, he is going to give an AK, bulletproof vest, and weapons to every family in the Ukraine to fight against the Russians.
Wow.
In America, we are armed to the teeth. And instead of using our military resources outside the country, governing other countries, for the first time, we're seeing our taxpayer dollars being used to safely clean up our own streets. And people are flabbergasted by it because they're caught in the matrix of the fake news media. Point blank.
So you think that the media is really creating because I've fed into it. I've fed into it. To me, when you see a whole thing, alligator Alcatraz being thrown up, and you're seeing just loads of people just being shoved into places, it looks like a concentration camp. So what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so those jails are not concentration camps. And at the end of the day, there were gas chambers at concentration camps. There were mass casualties in concentration camps. At the end of the day, if you as an American citizen goes out and commits a crime, someone calls the police on you, you know that's going to happen, right or wrong.
Right.
If you break the law and you pay a criminal cartel to help you get into a country illegally, you have committed a crime. There's always going to be repercussions for crime. That's just the point blank period. That's the fact. Whether people like it or not, people committed a crime. They paid a terrorist organization to cross the border illegally. That is a crime. And these people have been in the States long enough to take the route to be a citizen. They didn't do it. So they don't have to pay taxes, and they get medical benefits for free. They getting SNAP and food stamps for free, while people who need it not getting it, but immigrants are getting it. And then they're putting these people in low-income neighborhoods, so now everybody in that neighborhood has to compete for already low amount of resources. The people who gonna get pushed out by these immigrants is us, and we against them being forced to leave. This is what I'll be talking about. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man will always be king. And that's what we see going on right now. Because anybody listening to WAC 100, you a straight sucker. Because he out here pushing fake paperwork on T Grizzly when he got a sealed case. And niggas know what I do on the street. This man went to jail for a BB gun. How can you compare him to me at all? This is why I said I'm going to leave him over here, because I really can't help all of these people. The ladies I can work with, I can help them. When it comes to the guys, you have to leave them where they at. Because good men and tough guys always get along. The losers and the dorks are the ones who's always going to cause problems. And then, you know, I got my land initiative, Colony, where we taking in 15 families of victims of sex trafficking. In order for me to do this in America, it would have cost me like $3 million to do this. Over here, I got the land. I got 2 acres for $25,000. I'm putting container homes up for $7,000 a piece, so ladies can come and live someplace and feel safe. These type of things is only possible because I'm an American and I can use my money outside the country where my dollar goes a lot further. Because if the African Union comes together with North Korea, Russia, and China, and they put together BRICS, which is a gold-backed currency, and that removes the petrodollar, the U.S. market is going to crash and there's going to be a depression. Nobody's prepared for that. A proper man should always have a plan for himself and his loved ones, and that's what I'm doing. You know, China eventually is going to take Taiwan. Trump told President Xi, if you take Taiwan, I'm going to bomb Beijing. If he bombs Beijing, we will see destruction on mainland America that we've never seen before, because it's never happened. But that is something that is pertinent right now. And if you sound the alarm with facts, they call you a conspiracy theorist. But once you go out there and stand on the business, you know, people tend to follow at that point.
All right, so what's this? Rudy Moore says Baltimore gets the most funding in the country. We got scared with GPA 50% of the graduating class, a 0.3 GPA. I don't know.
And they have a 0.3 GPA, 50% of the graduating class. Yeah, so in Baltimore, they pretty much have the lowest test scores in the country, and they get the most funding. And nobody have a problem with that. A 0.3 GPA?
Right, that's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
I had no idea that was going on. I remember I moved from Detroit because there was such a huge amount of people that were not graduating. I mean,
my mother is a school teacher. She's been a school teacher 27 years. And she says, son, when are we going to Africa? Because I cannot teach these kids. We're getting ready to have the next generation. Our country is about to the prison system we've never seen before. They're starting to ban TikTok and social media for children under 15 because it causes mental illness. We have young people in our country that are depressed because they don't have Birkin bags and G-Wagons from selling pussy. Think about that.
Wow.
I haven't heard one Sexy Red song being played since I've been here. They don't play that. I haven't seen one. They don't play that. You feel me? It's a whole different ball game over here. Like if you snatch somebody's phone on the street, 20 people is going to chase you down and beat you. They might burn you to death. We must police ourselves, point blank, period. And we can't save everybody because America, the powers that be have systematically always been able to destroy, you know, black leadership, black infrastructure. That's how Juneteenth exists, because they believe in keeping their homeland secure. They fought for it. They enslaved, they raped, they murdered, they poisoned for this land. So you got to know that they're going to continue to do this. The problem is us as a people oftentimes need so much acknowledgement that we tell them everything we gonna do so they can infiltrate it. Me, I kept my shit a secret because I got a friend that's an FBI. He told me they received several thousand calls from guys saying that I'm breaking the law, I'm a vigilante, I done tortured them, and they was all black dudes.
Several thousand calls. That's crazy.
And it's all black dudes. So, you know, you gotta, when there's smoke, there's fire. You feel me? And fact of the matter is, it's dangerous to be a woman in America, especially a black woman. I'm getting ready to release my Ladies How to Stay Alive kit because you know I don't really like pandering my support base for money. But I feel like this kit needs to come out because men are just becoming less and less trustworthy. I believe 90% of them identify as bisexual because.
Thank you. Oh my God. Let's go into that. I actually had a guy named the DL Whisperer on my channel. You know, and my channel is like a place that I interview so many people that, and it doesn't never necessarily get out. Because I do interviews and, you know, YouTube just mutes me. But maybe it's for a reason because I interview people that, you know, the message is not necessarily like the status quo, you know? So I get like subdued, you know? But that part, when you really break down this whole aspect of the DL, let's go into that because you have this whole movement of red pill. So-called red pill, right? And the men on this red pill, they're one step away from incel, this involuntary celibate, and they will be married and be on these red pill thing, married as hell, and talking so bad about black women and women, and there's a guy that, I mean, he's married, super married, been married since he was like in high school. Anton Daniels, and he will just sit there and just diss black women. You have Tommy Sotomayor. There's so many people that just talk so bad about black women. What are your thoughts about this? And you talked about DL men, and I'm not saying that they're DL, but there's something to a man that just talks so negatively about women on a constant basis. Let's get into that.
Are you familiar with the guy Myron Gaines?
Yes.
He's a bisexual man. I've seen his boyfriend. And these are just the facts. Just like all of these rappers and singers, I've met very few of them that were straight. You feel me? And when I seen the dude Whack 100, they, man, we know Busta Rhymes gay, but you can't be saying that. I'm like, nigga, I can say what the fuck I want to say. Why is y'all protecting these guys, but y'all bashing females all day? At the end of the day, if the black woman didn't feel so betrayed by their own, they wouldn't carry themselves in such a defensive manner the way they do.
Oh, you being masculine. That's crazy. Yep.
So you want somebody to survive in a masculine world where they're not getting treated with the proper etiquette as if chivalry has died, and you want these people to not survive and adapt, what do you expect? Like, what do you possibly expect? You feel me? My own father said he just quit one day. My own pops just quit one day. You feel me? You're not finna sit here and tell me all women chase the baby father away. No. A proper man runs to responsibility. And this is why you see so many guys getting caught being down low, because the responsibility of maintaining your manhood and staying on a certain path is too much for these guys, simply because the need to have acknowledgement of what you're supposed to do is a flaw. I don't need nobody to praise me for standing on business and feeding my family and being a provider. That's what I'm supposed to do. If I want my words to matter, I'm going to provide safety. I'm going to provide food. I'm going to provide shelter. And I'm going to provide emotional accountability. You see what I'm saying? If you don't want to be a man, you can go get surgery and become a female. They got that available. I feel like a lot of guys need to go do that because, I didn't work for certain celebrities and seen the wife catch them in the act with men, and I've been the recipient of some of that money when they got paid off to keep it quiet. Ain't nobody gonna tell me no different. At the end of the day, how many pimps have you seen that was girls?
Not that many.
Very few compared to men. So we got black men introducing sex slavery to their own women in their community, and they want to give in respect. Stop it. It don't work that way. You got to give it to get it. Right or wrong?
100%. And here's another thing: is I found out that I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I got sent a video talking about that even P. Diddy's HIV status got out from prison, and turns out that it might be a positive result. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Allegedly. And so it explains even why he even gave that $30 million to Cassie, if he might be the reason why she might be positive.
If he would have paid her what he owed her in the first place, this never would have happened. Because what do niggas like doing? They like getting over on people. Just like you just said, people try to get on you all the time with the internet shit. It's the same thing with the celebrity guys. You know how many of them do not want to pay people? They think they are entitled to all of this preferential treatment. It's bullshit. I know this for a fact. And actually, an old pimp told me, he said, if a man has too much of one thing, he will try other things. And I realized that a lot of men in my community, they don't like women, they just like sex. They have no interest in companionship. They have no interest in maintaining a household for longevity. They just want immediate gratification from wherever they can get it. To me, that's a fundamental flaw in the psyche. And I feel like women receive so much scrutiny. And it really was a rewarding feeling for me when I got here to Africa and I would see girls being girls. I say, man, why y'all like this? They'll say, it's in our nature. And I'm like, wow, I've been able to come to a place where society is built on much more simple principles. And once you see these principles, you can take a bird's eye view of back home. You can understand a lot more because family reunions used to be a big thing. The onset of social media and the internet made it so people can connect without having to see each other. That's a problem because people used to have shame. Like they didn't want to shame their family name and stuff like that. People don't have that because the family structure has been severely corrupted. And in order to prepare that, separate, isolate, build a colony, and multiply, that's really the only solution. That's really the only solution. Because if you look at the comments, just look at the comments. Go to Don Benjamin, read his comments, and then go to Rick Ross, read his comment. Why do men care how another man look? Dudes used to complain about my beard. I'm like, why do you niggas care about my beard and you at home with a woman? Why do you care? Because dudes, black dudes, they hate on what they not attracted to. If they see a guy, they not attracted to him, they gonna hate on him. If they see a lady they're not attracted to, they finna hate on them. This is the facts. I've studied this. I have studied this.
You know
And
what? I get people call me big back and this, that, the other. I said, well, honey, the only reason why you would call me a big back because I'm a big woman is because you probably don't have the, you know what, to even penetrate anything close to what I got going on. So just find another channel, like for real, straight up.
now think about that. A fully grown man took time to type a message to you, a woman that he claims he's not physically attracted to, but he have a problem with you. That's gay as hell to me.
Right.
Man. That's all you got to do today to tell this woman.
Right. First thing in the morning at 8:00. Like just look at
Oh.
Right. So let's go into so we talked about the 20 reasons to like go to Africa. What are the best places in Africa to possibly go to when you go to Africa? Because I think that we have had a misconception of where to go to. We have people saying go to Burkina Faso because they're trying to do something. Go over here, go to Ghana, go to Nigeria. You're saying no, Nigeria's a shithole. Like, so where do you go? What are the best places? Where don't you go, and where do you go when you want to just
Okay.
Yeah.
Question. So I'll say this. First of all, Africa is not a country, it is a continent. It is a very large, vast place. Now, the places I suggest, Kenya is a good location because Kenya is a lot more similar to the United States when it comes to like socially. If you like black people and doing black people stuff, you're gonna love Kenya. Investment opportunities are very prevalent. You know, if you wanted to buy some beachfront land anywhere in America, you're not getting nothing less than $5 million. Here, you can get something for around 100 grand, which is amazing.
Wow.
Which is amazing. You know, you have South Africa, Johannesburg is a good place to travel to. Zimbabwe looks like the United States. Rwanda. Rwanda looks just like the United States. You feel me? And it's the safest country in Africa, probably the world right now. It's the city. You feel me? You gotta think about it like that. You know, Ghana and Nigeria, like those places are cool, but you know, the slave trade started in Nigeria by the Nigerians. In Nigeria, they have the highest IQ per person in the world. You feel me? And what do they do most? They scam. They outsmart people with their money. So keep that in mind. You know, Morocco is a very interesting place that you could visit that you might like. East Africa, definitely. You know, Tanzania is cool. They have a little political unrest at times, but you know, if you avoid all of the nonsense and you want to approach it on a business perspective, you can win in these places. Because I'm doing it. Like I just started a company similar to Uber. It's called Kijani Boda.
So you started your own Uber in Africa that quick. How long you been in Africa?
4 months.
4 months. Start your own like Uber like thing. Wow.
KijaniBoda.com. You can go to it right now. It's called Green Boda. Boda is a motorcycle. So like they do deliveries on Bodas. They do Uber. Like a person to pull up on a motorcycle, you get on the back of the motorcycle, and they take you places. You feel me? I've been able to start.
Would you say you need to like go over there to like actually like be successful? Like maybe 10,000, 100,000, 20,000, 50,000. What would you say like would be the most ideal amount of money to go over there and be successful?
I would say start with 5,000. You start with 5,000. You come over here, get you an apartment. Get you an apartment because you know you can get an apartment for $150 a month. Get set up. Because like I feel like people will ask me, man, once I get this amount of money, no, don't do that. Because then you'll never have the exact amount. You just gotta go. You just gotta go. And that's the thing. In America, we used to having to figure things out. So imagine going someplace where you gotta figure things out and everything costs a lot less money.
But
So
what about like, okay, how do you generate money when you're there? But once you've, because say like, okay, you come there, you got some money, you spend money on something, and then what if you run out of money? So how do you generate money when you don't have money in there? Do you have to still rely on America to like generate money? Or is it a matter of if you got the right connections, what happens then?
So I do. All right, now in my case, you feel me? You know, I played pro sports. I had my security business for a long time. You know, I don't buy shoes and clothes. To me, that's little mama as hell. Like, that's another real big bisexual thing, metrosexual thing in our community. Like a lot of guys got their life worth in their closet like a woman. Like me, that's hella gay. You feel me? So I don't wear all of my fucking money. You feel me? I already had $1 million fucking dollars before I even came to Africa. So, you know, at me, I always tell people, you got Amazon, you got all of these places where you can have e-commerce. You establish a few e-commerce lines of income where you can work that income any place in the world. You can invest in Africa, straight up like that. You can drive Uber here. DoorDash and Uber, all of that same shit here. It's the same thing. You can come here and get a job. You feel me? As a software developer, you can come here and get a job. They got jobs you can work remotely from there and work here. It's the same thing. Like people think you're gonna walk outside, see a lion and a giraffe. No, man. It's a whole city going on. Everybody is living. Everybody is living their part of the simulation, straight up and down. So, you know, I got a book right here, How to Earn USD Outside the USA.
Is this you? Is this your book?
So this book was written by a partner of mine. His name is Bamboo, but it's Tim Simon Kamani, How to Earn USD Outside the USA. You feel me? Everybody should get this book, and it's really just that simple. It's all about really wanting to have a change and just going for it, straight up.
So what about like, okay, so me being a mother, I mean, I'd have to like take my kids over there. Like I would be kind of scared about like, you know, like as far as like, I mean, is it safer as a woman to bring my kids over there versus in America?
Check this out. On the Uber and Rideshare app, they have an option. You can have women only everything. Think about that.
They have the option, right? Yeah,
You can pick women only. Women only pick you up. Women only drop you off. They have women only gyms. It's a lot different. You feel me? And when it comes to safety, I promise you, I'll be in America at the swimming pool with my pistol and my towel. I have not needed a weapon, not one day. And when I first got here, it wigged me out because I'm like, man, I don't see no white people anywhere. And I see a group of guys walking toward me. I'm used to having to be on defense. I don't know what these niggas on. These dudes is totally different. Hello, brother. How are you? How are you, brother? I pray for you today, brother. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I'm not used to this. You feel me? You don't see no white people nowhere. It ain't.
Pull out your pistol and they like, hey brother, how you guys going?
Well,
Hey.
they like a gun. If you pull out a gun out here, people are going to run and scream for dear life. Imagine this: you're driving down the street, and there is no risk of a white police officer pulling you over and killing you.
Wow.
Think about that.
So you know what? So what do you think this whole thing about FBA is? Because right at the same point when Africa is coming upon its like rise and it's where it's about to be the best thing ever, it's also in America trying to get Black Americans to hold on to some kind of a thing called a FBA, foundational Black American. I don't need to go outside this country. This is my country and have this like country, like this, whatever the hell you want to call it. So what do you think that's about?
I hate to say this, but it has to be said. Niggas hate on everything and everybody. If the Bible is geographically correct, Black motherfuckers killed the Son of God, a nigga who turned water into wine. They murdered him because he was outshining other people. For somebody to say they are foundationally Black American, I'm sure in their same state where they live, there are sundown towns. If you out here claiming you a foundational Black American and in your same state where you live, they got sundown towns, you out your goddamn mind. Straight up. And then now we got these foundational Black Americans blatantly rewriting history, saying that they are now Hebrew Israelites and they are indigenous. The slave trade never took place. They sovereign citizens now. Those
Indians, they're Native Americans. They're here before.
You know, and I asked them, I said, yeah, man, so tell me something about the Navajo. Huh? So where is the Blackfoot Indian Reservation at? Huh? Oh, we was already here, man. Okay, so show me one person in your family that can show you how to do a rain dance. They cannot do it. This is why you don't listen to niggas who don't know their history. I found out my history. I went to where my bloodline was from, and it all made sense as soon as I touched down on the concrete. Soon as I breathed the air, soon as my feet hit the concrete, I said, wait a second. I'm not a nigga no more. I'm just like everybody else. We all is Africans here. It's an entirely different experience. I urge everybody to experience it because, you know, how can you be a foundational Black American and you not being a freedom fighter? How can you sleep at night when you're telling people don't go outside the country to your roots and get citizenship, getting dual citizenship? Don't go out the country and where your money can go a lot further. When all of the big brands that they shop at and that they worship are doing exactly that. They're expanding into all of these different markets. But you don't do it, though, because you're a foundational Black American. Man, get the fuck out of here. You's a clown is what you is.
And you know what? It's so crazy that they're tethering. What do you think about the word tether? Like that all the Africans are tethering off of and if it wasn't for our ancestors, they wouldn't exist. And this, what do you think about that? That whole concept.
So they're tethering off the fact of, so who's doing the tethering?
they're saying that, you know, because we made hip hop and we made this and we had the civil rights movement, that what'll happen is that the Caribbeans and the Africans will come over and tether off of our creations and then try to become more successful, you know, based on our ancestors' work that they've done and their tethers. That's the whole kind of tether.
All right, so let's just address a few points here. Hip hop has fueled the private prison system better than gangs. You cannot play drill killer music in these countries or clubs. It's outlawed.
It's outlawed?
Yes.
Wow.
So let's just put that in perspective. How many hip hop artists have turned out to be bisexual black men? Most of them. Why do we refer to our women as bitches and hoes? Because of hip hop music. So I don't really think that's much to be proud of. It's used as a talking point. When it comes to tethering, it's people get to travel from these countries to our countries, and they give them business credit loans. They can open up stores in the same neighborhoods where black people live, where they don't open up stores. I believe that there's a woke victimhood mentality amongst people in America, and they've been baited and gamed by a system that they don't even see that they're just a piece on the monopoly board. I really don't get into all of those type of groups simply because the truth can never be disrespect, and you can never state your opinion as a fact and then get upset when people don't agree with your opinion, because your opinion is indeed that. It's not a fact. It's your opinion, unless you are posting fact-based information. That's why I did 100+ million views in 2024. I'm on pace to do the same thing this year. You feel me? None of the guys who had a problem with me have I interviewed over 7 million. I got several of them. So, you know, at the end of the day, I look at WAC and whoever told you that false information is these same group of little guys who put together these groups, who they share the same bullshit, homosexual ideology of male worship and women abuse. And I put them all in the same category. You feel me? Just a bunch of clowns, because, you know, you will never see a wolf in a circus. Just won't see it. You see what I'm saying? And these guys talking about foundational black Americans when they used to have rape parties for our women. Are you niggas crazy? Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, what are y'all talking about?
You know what? I was on this panel called Chaotic Truth. And so now there's this new push towards conservatism in the black community. So you have like these black conservatives. What do you think about black conservatism?
This is what I think about it. I seen several people making videos, Trump, don't send no National Guard to my neighborhood and all this. And then after he did it and they cleaned up the neighborhood, I see these same guys. I ain't gonna lie, Trump, man, the kids back outside playing. Man, I'm like, yeah, right. You fucking niggas running your mouth again when everybody has this woke victimhood mentality. But at the end of the day, most of y'all was not outside being domestic terrorists. You feel me? I was outside being a domestic terrorist with my psychopath ass homies. And I said, wait a second, man, they tricked us. Our neighborhood is fucked up. It's because we giving these people heroin and crack, and y'all got the neighborhood females on this street selling themselves. That's why it's fucked up over here. If we don't clean this shit up, we the fools. And now, ever since I came public, you see groups coming out trying to clean up their neighborhood. Simply because, does it make sense that these guys can all get together on YouTube, but they can't put together an investment fund to buy up properties in impoverished neighborhoods where you can get a house for under $1,000?
Mm.
Right. That's the difference. I really go outside. These guys on the computer, you feel me? When they get off the computer, then they watching porn all day. You see what I'm saying? So now they watching porn. So they don't like a BBW woman because they on here paying $10 a month on OnlyFans to watch this girl on here banging another dude. Think about that.
Right. And all they seen is a D going in and out, like boom, 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 slap, slap, slap. Come on.
That's because when I see, I'm a big dude. When I see a big woman, I get excited. I know we finna eat good. I know we gonna chill. I know we finna have a good time. I know this is a person who is gonna respect me and my time, because whenever I had a barbecue at my house, the big girls is showing up on time. They bringing sides. They bringing their own bottles. The little IG models, they don't come with nothing.
Right. They expect somebody, a dude to come bring it for them, right? So
I'm like, sweetheart, you just came by yourself, but not even a bag of ice? Oh, okay. So you go look on my page, I'm out there with the big ladies having a ball. So it's just like, when I see dudes cracking jokes on girls, I know you's a zest monster, goofball. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing here?
right.
And now,
And so I'm gonna say this real quick is that, for anyone saying about anything, I didn't know that you were 6'6". 6'6".
Right.
I mean, that is scary. Like any guy walking in the room at 6'6", come on now.
If you type in Keith
Rocky level, like
Wack and Loose Cannon is both like 5'7". Like them, like that's like me fighting a girl. Like, get y'all dumb ass out of here. You type my name in, Keith Lux, it's gonna come up on ESPN, man. I was in the league. So like, what am I lying about when everything is public record and documented? But they say if you want to hide something, you put it in a book, you put it in literature. These guys we in the TikTok era of men. They scroll short videos all day long. If they don't find it out in 3 seconds, they cool. And then, if you want to be with a grown woman for a long period of time, you have to be an expert in foreplay. They not doing none of that because they like, man, I can cut on this video, pay this $10 and jerk off, and I'm gonna make fun of the big girl. You's a sucker.
right. Hey, I told us that Big Back be getting some. Listen, let me tell you something. Big Back, y'all want to call me Big Back, but honey, ain't nobody. Listen, I ain't never had no issues. Nobody has complained about Big
Back. They ain't doing no complaining.
I had never complaints about Big Back, so y'all call me Big Back, but honey, Big Back be getting some big D. So whatever.
And I'm sure that inbox is jumping. So it's like. I know that inbox is jumping. You feel me? Because
yeah, man.
Wait, listen. I know for a fact that these guys are having so many identity crises that they wake up and they look to somebody to antagonize because they just not comfortable with oneself. You feel me? Because I have never, ever had one problem outside in the field with anybody off the internet. Because the fastest way to slide into hell face first is to come playing with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it all boils down to, the ultimate measure of a man is how he responds in time of crisis and how he treats people that aren't as strong as him. You feel me? And I live by these principles. At the end of the day, the whole black nationalist thing I don't agree with that simply because anything that's going to cause further division in this world we live in, I just cannot be a part of because, you know, I oftentimes see black people in these certain groups arguing about
But you know,
whether
here's the question: do you think that Pan Africanism is dead? Because that's the biggest thing. They want to say, you know what, Pan Africanism is dead, and it's all about FBA and about this thing right here. What do you think?
I don't believe Pan-Africanism is dead at all. Simply because, you know, there was a group called the NFAC
Mhm.
led by Grandmaster Jay. Grandmaster Jay had the NFAC, and they were a very opulent group. They were black nationalists. They did a few shows of force, put together a task force to take them down. Grandmaster Jay is now locked up in jail for pointing a firearm to look through the scope, to look at the top of the building. They put together a play to lock him up. The real black nationalist groups, like the ones who paid for the funeral for the man down in Houston, the black man who killed all those police officers who guys don't speak about, those real groups, they're not on the internet.
Actually,
If you want to be in one of those real groups, you got to get invited. You're not gonna find them on the internet. That's a whole nother ball game, you know. And I don't want to say too much about that because, yeah.
you're right. I understand that. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of those groups had to like go back underground. Like, man, when they leaders start get locked up, you know, they had to like say, you know, let's fall back a little bit.
If you are truly operating on a high level, you are underground. Point blank, period. If you really operating on a high level, you're underground. Most people don't know about it.
Right.
That's why when I came out, so many people was like, damn. Because my name was always Killer Man. My name was always Killer my whole life. You feel me? People didn't start calling me Big Homie until like 2018, 2019. So certain people see me on the internet like, nigga, you on the internet? Hold on. You feel me? That's why I started getting movie deals and all this other shit happening. Because people knew me already from what I really do. So it's just like, you know, everything is about perception. And if you want to win, you got to keep it hidden. You got to keep it hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm in the right at 2 hours. I said, you know what? Damn, I didn't even realize this is going. Listen, that's how you know that the conversation is good right here when it goes
We
this way.
cooking. Yes.
Right, we cooking. You know, we cooking. So I would say this. Now you recently have a loved one. You know what I'm saying? A female. Do you believe in polygamy? This is the thing. Because, you know, polygamy has grown in America. What do you think about the ideal of polygamy? Let's go into that.
All right, now let's talk about this because what's grown in America is polyamorous relationships. Polygamy is when you have two separate wives, but you have to provide her a separate house, separate everything. Polygamy in Africa is, yeah, you got another wife, yeah, that's her house over there. This is all her shit, this is her shit. In America, you pretty much have a lot of dudes who are putting together a way to take advantage of the financial system because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, if I could have 3 800 credit scores and 3 incomes in my house, yes, we will all be in Bentleys and Rolls Royces for sure.
Right. It's pimping.
You feel me?
Is it not pimping? Is it not pimping?
So the thing with pimping is pimping, somebody is usually under oppression. And usually in pimping, the pimp is keeping all of the money. But I have seen in several situations where I'm like, man, nigga, you really just being a pimp. You feel me? So I definitely see where you coming from. But
Hello?
let me explain this. So you said you had a friend in Tanzania, right?
Yeah, but he's a Hebrew Israelite. It's a little bit different.
Okay, so I got a buddy. I have a buddy in Tanzania, and he has 3 wives,
Mm-hmm.
but they all have their own house. They have their own cars. Like they're not having threesomes and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Like, that's the difference to what's taking place in America to here. So polyamory is blowing up in America. You're not gonna have no 2 Kenyan women in the same house. That's not going. That ain't finna happen. That ain't never finna. That ain't never going down. You know what I'm saying? So and over here, I've seen female politicians come out and say we need to bring back polygamy because if you look at the numbers, there are more women on Earth than it is men.
Yep.
And I do believe that it is in male nature to have more than one partner. That's why marriage is so serious because you're signing up for this. You're taking an oath that death do us part. You feel me? And that's why I take those type of things very serious. Like, well, if I sign up for it, I'm gonna do it at the highest level. You
So
feel
here's
me?
is marriage business.
Yeah, marriage is definitely part business, but people always ignore that you take vows when you get married. It's more of the vows and the pact, the covenant that you're making over the business aspect of things. Because when it comes to business, you feel me? Like they taught us this in college when I was playing football in college. You got to go to these compliance meetings, and then they teach you what to do with your finances when you make it to the NFL and stuff like that. They tell you put all your stuff. Like all my stuff is in my mom's name, and in businesses and trusts and stuff like that. You feel me? My company pays me a salary. Like it's ways around like losing half of everything. They got prenuptial agreements and all of that. You feel me? Like it's. But when it comes to the business aspect of things, that could be a cop out on both sides. You feel me? So it's kind of like people ignore the fact that you have to have your wedding vows. Like the vows is what matters. You feel me? Now, if y'all have irreconcilable differences, you can have a divorce. There's legal ways to go about things. You feel me? But me personally, what? Like if I got 800 credit, my girl got 800 credit. Off that alone, we can put together $500,000 in funding in a year.
But do they even have credit in Africa?
Yes.
So does your credit score transfer over to Africa?
Yes, that's how I got the loan. I'm building a
So if you
hotel.
have credit in America, it's going to come over to Africa with you?
Yeah, because they all use the same lending banks. It's all the same banks. Every bank all goes back to the 5-6 central banks. It's all the same banking system. That's why when I'm like, man, why are you scared to go over there? We all in the same. You can get a credit card there, come over here. Let's say you get a credit card, 50 grand. You come over here, you got millions. As a foreigner, I can go down here and get a work permit, go to this bank with my American credit and take out a loan.
Mm.
And in Africa, they have credit. They have a credit system. It's the same thing. But people always hear what they don't know. I call it spookism.
So do you have bad credit in America? Do you have bad credit in Africa?
No. Because it's different credit bureaus. It ain't no TransUnion and all of that type of shit like that. They got different bureaus here. But let's say if you go to a Santander-owned bank, which is most banks, They're gonna say, "Where's your credit set up at?" "Oh, my credit is in America." Okay, they're gonna go to the American credit bureaus. You feel me? They're gonna use that as the terms to get you a loan. You feel me? Let's say you got a job as a software developer in America. You show your bank statements. They'll give you a loan against that money right here on the soil.
Really? Wow. Based on just the check that I'm getting from my,
Just
wow.
based off income.
Not even my score, but just based off my income.
Based off your income.
Listen, you know what? This has been a great build just so far. We got to bring it back. This is, and then we're gonna like get deeper into the financial aspect of it, because I think that people need to like start learning how to know how to take what you said and actually apply it. It's one thing we talked about what we need to do, what the marching orders are, and now we need to know how can you apply the whole thing. Move to Africa, how do you get there? What do you do? First I want you to do is tell us, I think that you said you have a book coming out and like a new website. Go into that.
Yeah, so we have a mentorship that's getting ready to drop. The website is actually up, so I'll send you the link to the website. So basically, you sign up. We help you structure your finances, give you a blueprint and a game plan on how to move to Africa, move to Kenya, and how to get yourself integrated. It's relatively cheap. I think it's like $99. You get added to the group chat. We got a credit person there. We got people teach you how to trade stocks. Being in the stock market alone, learning how to trade, that can really help you survive in Africa a lot, because the average Kenyan person is surviving off less than $100 a month.
Mm.
So I bet you right now, if your rent was $200, that would give you flexibility to the where your entrepreneurial brain is going to cut on, because you don't have this imminent threat of like, damn, if I don't pay this by this, the light's getting cut off. If I don't do this,
yes, my mortgage is $3,000 a month right now.
Now think about that. $3,000 a month. For $3,000 a month here, you would be living in a penthouse condo on the 40th floor somewhere with 2 levels.
Wow.
And I've been to them. I say, man, how much is this? It's $3K. You can buy an own condo for $60,000 in a high rise with a doorman and all of that type of stuff. Own it. Put down 30% and you got 5 years to pay off the rest.
Okay, guys. So he's showing y'all what to do. So the next conversation we're gonna have is how to do it. He's showing y'all that it's possible. That's the main thing. I mean, the first thing I wanted to do is show that I wanted to make sure that when he comes in, everybody with their preconceived notions of what he's saying as a so-called conspiracy theorist. No. Then we go into who he is as a person. What has he done? He's helped people out. Next step. Okay, where is he at? He's over here. Now he's telling you how to do it. So the next step we're going to take after this is, what is the formula? How do you go over to Africa and really be able to make it happen? So I'm going to bring you back. Thank everybody for being here. Shouts out. Is there any last words you want to say to the audience?
First and foremost, thank you for having me. You've been a gracious host. You do this very well. You're on the top of my list for sure. Very, very, very intuitive questions. I'm excited to come back. I appreciate it. And next time I come back here, I will have the formula, and we're gonna build some more. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the audience. Thank you to everybody who has been here to check it out and the replay, because I get a lot of replay. So thank you for the replay. People that's going to come back and watch this. Shouts out everybody and peace.